Good evening, everyone. Thanks a lot for staying with us. You're watching Plain Speak with me, Shivani Gupta. Hijab hearing in the Supreme Court took a dramatic turn today as Solicitor General Tushar Mehta submitted that the hijab protests in Karnataka were not spontaneous. While representing the Karnataka government, SG Tushar Mehta reiterated that the agitation over hijab was part of a larger conspiracy and orchestrated to create social unrest. Remember, a full bench of the Karnataka High Court had held that wearing hijab by women was not an essential religious practice of Islam. The bench further held the prescription of uniform dress code in educational institutions was not violative of the fundamental rights of the petitioners. While defending that judgment, the Karnataka government told the Supreme Court that students were goaded into wearing hijab inside the classrooms by Popular Front of India and its affiliate, the Campus Front of India. Given the global context in which this legal fight is ongoing, not surprisingly, the SG also mentioned Iran, how hijab is not a compulsory religious practice and that women in constitutionally Islamic countries are protesting against it. The more important aspect is that the same girls who were not wearing a hijab till the end of 2021 suddenly started insisting that they will enter the classroom only with a hijab. How did it suddenly become about their religion and dignity? Are radical outfits like the PFI deliberately pushing women in India under the hijab? That's certainly what the government believes. We will take that to our guests in just a bit. Here are, though, some of the Solicitor General's most important submissions made in court today. That the student petitioners were influenced by Popular Front of India. That the PFI, in fact, started a movement late 2021 and 2022 on social media to push wearing of the hijab. And students were part of this larger conspiracy. That they also acted as advised by the PFI in this case, more importantly the CFI, which is the Campus Front of India. That no student was wearing the hijab till 2021. This is also something the local officials have pointed out and shown proof of via pictures of assemblies and classrooms over the years. Taking from arguments and verdict given by the High Court earlier, SG also reiterated that hijab is not an essential practice. This, of course, is contradicted by some other petitioners. The SG also mentioned, as I said, how women are rebelling against the hijab in Iran, which shows it is not essential for religion. In fact, in its March 2022 verdict in this case, even Karnataka High Court had talked about how the protest was engineered. Here is what the High Court had said in its written order, by the way. These were not observations. That the issue came up all of a sudden in the middle of an academic term, and that the issue was blown out of proportion by the powers that be. It went on to say some unseen hands are at work to engineer social unrest. We expect a speedy and effective investigation into this. In fact, the court went on to say the culprits must be brought to book, brooking no delay. Let me further break down how the CFI role had come to light then, and much of it has been accepted by them and even the families of the girl students. This is also as per the Karnataka government intel report. So on October 28, 2021, there were rumors in Udupi, where this began, of a girl having been raped. Those rumors spread, and the next day, ABVP protests were held against the alleged rape, and these Muslim girls also took part in those protests. There are actually videos of that. Large crowds were mobilized, buses were also mobilized. Now, in the next few days, what happens is that the STPI leaders approached the families of the Muslim girls. They asked them to join the Campus Front of India. Maybe they were jittery because the girls took part in an ABVP protest. On November 7, 2021, the 8 Muslim girls in question joined the Campus Front of India. There is even a picture of them holding a placard or a banner of the Campus Front of India. And remember, the petitioners come from this set of girls. By November 2nd week, the girls started insisting on wearing a hijab to college and inside the classroom. They were actually allowed inside the campus, but not inside classrooms with the headgear. The CFI vocally backed the protests on ground. And in December, the CDC, which is the committee of the college, these PU colleges in Udupi, decided that the dress code was to be followed and no exemptions were to be made. The girls were eventually barred from taking classes. That is when that story broke nationally. Now, if all of this was not enough, politics and even international affairs have entered this debate. Today, BJP criticized Rahul Gandhi, the former Congress chief, marching with a young girl child wearing the hijab and also covered in the full body black garment. The Congress's Bharat Jodo Yatra has already been in trouble over the use of children, and today they faced allegations of glorifying the hijab, that too on a young child. Then does it remain a matter of choice? Compare that to women in Iran breaking shackles and taking on a theocratic Iranian regime despite threats to their life by taking off their hijabs, even burning them, chopping their hair off on social media as a mark of protest. All of this after the killing of a young girl who died allegedly after being taken into custody by the morality police and being beaten to death. So the big debate that's coming up today, the women in Iran, this has happened in other Islamic countries in the past, fight against patriarchal symbols like hijab. But is the PFI, bodies like the PFI and others, pushing the hijab use in India when there is no need? First up, a little bit more.